If you've ever wondered what happens when an alien princess meets the god of tyranny, well, let's just say it's not a day the universe easily forgets. It started on a day that felt as ordinary as any in Jump City. The sky was mostly clear, the streets bustling below Titan's tower. Starfire Coriandra of Tamaran was taking a rare moment to enjoy. Earth's sunlight floating above the water, eyes closed. She should have known peace, for her, is always short-lived. But that's when the sky shattered. Above her, a breach through reality, burning, crackling, and unnatural tore across the horizon. Massive, black-clad parade-mans poured through, darkening the sun. In their wake was a force unlike any she'd ever felt. Something ancient, heavy, and cold. She landed, fists charged with starbolts, as a shadow slowly emerged from the breach. Red eyes, granite skin, clad in armor that glimmered with oblivion. Darkseid, ruler of Apokolips, had come to Earth. Now, invasions weren't new for Starfire. She's led armies, rebelled against conquerors, watched her own people taken and enslaved. But Darkseid was another universe of threat. Even his shadow seemed to sap the hope from the world. But Starfire, she was not one to yield. As Darkseid strode forward, the city seemed to grow mute. Cars stopped, birds vanished. Not one civilian dared breathe. He spoke a deep, echoing voice that didn't so much sound as it did suffocate. You Tamaranian possess energies of interest, and I may allow this world to remain. But Starfire floated to meet his gaze, hair blazing behind her. You have mistaken me, stone tyrant. On Tamaran, we do not yield. We fight, and I fight for Earth now. So began a battle worthy of legends. He moved first, training centuries of war on her, unleashing his Omega beams. Crimson energy zigzagged, unerringly, no mercy, no hesitation. Starfire dove, her flight a comet of fire and resolve. Weaving through destruction, returning with beams of pure solar force, buildings shuddered, sidewalks upturned in their wake. She realized quickly, raw power alone would not be enough. Each Omega beam struck with the weight of millions of souls lost to Apokolips. Starfire ducked, darted, and every moment she hesitated, another stretch of city floor would have, if not for her. The battle spilled into the sky above skyscrapers, into clouds parted by their fury. Darkseid, imperious, treated this as annoyance. Starfire, however, drew deeper from within a lifetime of being exiled, of forging hope among despair. A wave of energy burst from her hands so fierce it split thunderheads, so bright even Darkseid blinked. A pause. Darkseid measured her, the faintest curl of a sneer at his lips. Impressive, but inevitable. He struck with a fist. JH blow was a force of nature. Starfire parried, her own hands alight. Bones cracked the air, stone met flame. He tried to subdue her with anti-life, pouring hopelessness and surrender into her mind. But Starfire is not a stranger to loss. Every memory of Tamaran, her world burning, her sister's betrayal, the endless running flooded through her. But hope is what she'd forged from all that pain. Refusing to submit, she rechanneled the despair, letting it fuel a burst of starfire brighter than a sun. It scorched, Darkseid's armor leaving marks, if not wounds. He narrowed his eyes. You continue. Futile, but admirable. She grimaced, sweat on her brow. Still, she would not back down. If she fell, so would Earth, and she would not allow another world to die at the hands of a monster. The tides turned when she fainted, drawing Darkseid close, then darted behind a flurry of starbolts, catching him off guard. The impact drove him into the docks, waves exploding upward. For a moment, she saw him falter, a single crack spider-webbing his gauntlet. She pressed her advantage. Every lesson from her mother's court, from years fleeing tyranny, exploded out. The struggle lasted minutes, hours, an eternity. At times it seemed she was everywhere at once, but always Darkseid endured, inexorable and relentless. Desperate, Starfire summoned every scrap of energy, the last ray of sunlight, every photon of hope concentrated in her palms. She struck, channeling all that she was into one final blinding blow. The city turned silent witness to the impossible. For the first time, Darkseid took a half step back. But ultimate victory? No, it was never to be. Straightened, and all Starfire's power seemed no more than a ripple in his sea of malevolence. Yet he did not smite her. With a pause he observed. A world defended by such fire may be tolerated for now. And with that, the breach yawned open once more. He vanished through space, his minions trailing behind, leaving a battered, exhausted Starfire hovering above the city. She fell to her knees, panting, alive. For Earth had survived. Not through brute force, but by the stubborn light that endures, even beside darkness. Starfire had proven, as she always does, that hope is not a weakness. Even when hope stands alone,